Yo, here we are, December 6th, 4 p.m. Central Time, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Welcome to another episode of the NBA Show. We're waiting for our good friend Jackson to get here. He's a little late, and here he is. What is going on? I got to go shoot another student film at 5 o'clock, so we'll be going until 4:45. But we got a lot to talk about. We'll be talking about Indiana Pacers and Andrew Nembhard, the steal of the draft. Are the Golden State Warriors a team that's struggling? Are they bad? The Pelicans are looking solid as ever. The Houston Rockets are growing. And the thing is that Blake Griffin's looking like a glue guy for the Boston Celtics. And there's Kuzma trade rumors. So let's get right into it. How are you doing today, Jackson?
I am great. How are you?
Good. Just finished spamming all the stream on all my accounts. And let's talk about Andrew Nembhard. He's one of the rookies. He's been starring. The guy's just been phenomenal with Tyrese having missed the last two games. I think he was the first pick of the second round, played for Florida, and then the last 2 years played for Gonzaga. And I think he's just been an astonishment how he's been playing. Guys, what are your thoughts from Andrew Nembhard so far this season?
Yeah, unfortunately, it started with that buzzer beater to take down the Los Angeles Lakers, which wasn't cool to me at the time because the Lakers lost, but it was cool for him. I snagged him in fantasy on Monday morning, so I was very pleased with his production yesterday. I think he's going to get the starting nod for the time being. Like even when Tyrese comes back, he's a really enticing player. These Gonzaga guys, they just produce quality point guards. So I feel like Gonzaga's kind of been a school that gets they have solid players in the NBA, but they never have, or I can't remember who was their last star. I can't remember their last star that came out of Gonzaga, but
it'll be hopefully Chet Holmgren.
Yeah, hopefully Chet Holmgren. Or maybe superstar is a better word. The Indiana Pacers are super fun to watch, man. They were really a pain in the ass to the Golden State Warriors. I know the Dubs were without Andrew Wiggins, but they play really fast. They're one of, if not the best bench scoring team in the NBA, and they were missing important players yesterday, and they took down the Dubs on the road.
Okay, so I agree. I think also this just goes to show how good of a coach Rick Carlisle is, and I think how he's just a master of rotation. I think that especially with TJ McConnell being out, you can see how this is a team that they've got a lot of depth at the guard position, and you can see the future could quite possibly be a three-headed monster of maybe Nembhard's the long-term six-man, or maybe because Nembhard's a bigger guard, they run Nembhard, Tyrese Halliburton, Benedict Mathurin, Chris Duarte, and Isaiah Jackson's potentially the future. Goga's kind of quieted down a bit, but I think this is you're looking at a squad right here that it's a lot of athleticism and a team that the bench, I really think we had to say this is a team that, yes, the defense hasn't been necessarily good and the offense is middle of the road, but you got cornerstones in Mathurin, Halliburton, and Nembhard now. And whatever happens with Turner and Hield, it's just this team is more of a retooling than it feels as a rebuild, opposed to a rebuild.
Yeah, definitely. Carlisle's a great coach. I would think my future lineup's probably something like Tyrese. Nembhard's definitely in there. I'm sticking probably with Benedict off the bench. And
really, I'm starting Benedict, and then if I had to choose Duarte off the bench.
I think last night was his first start. Duarte, I'm not giving up on because I know he's been dealing with injuries all season, but
I'm not giving up on him.
I think he's more of a bench guy right now for him.
Yeah, I just think that they have the possibility of having this 4 out, 1 in with Jackson, and then having Mathurin, Duarte, Nembhard, and Halliburton all outside. Holy crap.
Actually, I like Jalen Smith more than Isaiah Jackson, but Isaiah Jackson's got a lot of potential for sure.
You're 100% right. In that lineup, I would rather have Jalen Smith because Jalen Smith could also pop the three. So take that back. Jalen Smith, Stick Smith, a guy who's been every single season getting better. This guy in a year or two is going to be a guy who averages 17 and 10 easily out of University of Maryland, Jalen Smith, underrated piece.
Yeah,
They've
real
got
quick.
good players in every single position. Nemhard and Halliburton at the guard position, Matherin and Duarte and Kendall Brown, hopefully, and Terry Taylor at the wing forward spots. Then at the big man spot, they got Jackson, Smith, and Goga. I think it's just there's a lot of pieces here long-term wise already.
Yeah, Kendall Brown. Was that what you said, Kendall Brown?
Yeah, Aaron Nesmith
Yeah, I
too.
really liked Kendall Brown last night. Aaron Nesmith, yeah, from the Celtics. He's playing in the finals. Yeah, you can tell they know what they're doing. And I'm very glad for Indiana because I know it could have been a really shaky season, but Tyrese is playing like an all-star. And now you got Nemhard. Yeah, like you said, they just got a bunch of hoopers. I like even long term, like Jalen Smith and IJ was my big man. Maybe go off the bench, whatever ends up happening with Miles Turner. Who the hell knows at this point?
And the team that they beat last night, they just embarrassed them. And the thing is this team, are they for a team that's a defending champs, they don't necessarily look like the defending champs, and we all know what's going on. They let the veterans walk, and arguably the youngings that they replaced in the rotation have not been up to par. So that's where I come to you. What is your thoughts on the Golden State Warriors? Is this team starting to hit the panic button? And we could see some moves done midseason, which isn't quote unquote very Warriors in their way, but this is also a team that can completely turn it around. What is your initial thoughts of the Golden State Warriors, Jackson?
I mean, I'm still not worried. I don't know what the hell is going on. Steph Curry got shut down last night, got obliterated. I
By
think
Andrew Nemhard.
Yeah, and just the whole team in general. I mean, they were trapping them. They were double teaming them in the fourth quarter. I think, yeah, like you said, man, I don't like their depth at all. I think real quick, because I got to make it about LeBron, I think it's funny how Steph Curry's like desperate nights where he shoots 3-17, finishes with 12 points. Like, I don't know when the last time LeBron had less than 20. But anyways, neither here nor there. They're too top heavy. I know Wiggins was out, but Anthony Lamb is nice. I mean, Kuminga's been getting a lot better. Dante DiVincenzo has his moments for sure. But yeah, like you said with the vets, dude, it's just not Gary Payton. It's not Bella Litza. It's not even Damian Lee. Like, you can tell they're missing these guys. So I was looking at some trades. It was like, I saw one. It was like James Wiseman. No, I think it was like Kuminga and Moody for like Gary Harris, a second round pick, and Terrence Ross or something. It was something like that. I saw it. I was like, oh, I don't like that at all. So I don't know what they're gonna do, but I remember being a little on the panic side last year that it could be the end of the dynasty, and they ended up pulling it off. But
I don't have any worries. The team's 13 and 12, and they haven't had any big losing stretches. It's really like they lose a game, maybe lose two in a row, then they go on a 3-4 game win streak or 2 or 3. So there hasn't been any stretches. I just think this is the growing pains. People are overreacting. It's the growing pains that they're going through with Steve Kerr trying to make the young Warriors a part of what they do best on the court. And the results have been mixed. Some nights you have Moses Moody, Jordan Poole, and Jonathan Kuminga show up. Other nights, it's a train wreck. But the thing is Steph Curry's out there playing like his MVP, unanimous MVP self, maybe even better. You got Klay Thompson, who's turning a corner, shooting and just looking like himself again, getting rid of the sea legs. Andrew Wiggins has taken the next step. Draymond Green's still doing Draymond Green things, maybe shooting a bit more than you'd like. Jordan Poole, though, not Jordan Poole. He hasn't been cool at anything. Jordan Poole this year has been wildly inconsistent, and he was the guy who was consistent for them for a large part. And the Warriors have been uncharacteristically, I can't say that word right now. Uncharacteristically bad at defense. And I think we see flashes of the potential of the team being good at both ends of the floor is still there. It's just I think the worst they had was a 5-game win streak. The Warriors have gone 10-4 since then. I think now 10-5, and they've been one of the best basketball teams in that stretch when they're playing efficient. So I think this is just more of a result of them trying to just figure it out, and I don't think it's something to be concerned about. I think it's just more so let's see how this goes, okay? Because I don't think this is a detriment to the team yet. I think it's just more we're figuring it out. Thoughts?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not too worried. We got a spammer in here.
I saw the message. I got it.
We get these spammers like every show now. I guess that's a good thing.
It's NBA. What up, TP? What up, Joshua?
TP. Yeah, I'm not too worried. Kuminga, as doggy as I was on him to start the season, he's been slowly but surely improving in a team dynamic or team aspect. I think the perfect role for Jonathan Kuminga would be like a Andre Iguodala type role.
I guess so. That's another guy that they've been missing so far. And for the month of December, which is like the last 3 games, 3 or 2 games, Klay Thompson, Jordan Poole, Andrew Wiggins, and Steph Curry have all been 20. Like they have 4 20-digit scores. But then it's like you said, top heavy. Falls to Kevon Looney's the 4th leading scorer in the month of December. Again, 3 games. But if you want to look into November to get a second sample size of what that looks like, again, similar thing. You got Steph Curry through the month of December, which is like November, 13 games, averaging 31 points. Klay and Andrew Wiggins both averaging 19.3. Jordan Poole 15. Then it was Draymond Green at 8.6. Jonathan Kuminga at 7.4. Ty Jerome in his 5 games at 7.4. And Anthony Lamb. It's crazy how it's Anthony Lamb, JaMychal Green, Dante DiVincenzo have like some games it's like, holy crap, these guys could be the new vets. And then other games it's just like, oh, you guys just disappeared.
Yeah, I was hoping that at some point in the season Dante DiVincenzo could do like something.
I know he struggled with injury. He's been in and out of the lineup.
But I feel like it's been at least a month now. I'd like to see him do something at some point. He had some good defensive moments last night, but I need to see it consistently.
It's just weird because Dante DiVincenzo was a guy that on a championship team averaged 10.5 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, a steal a night while shooting 38% on 5 attempts from 3.
Yeah, he's not a 5-point per game scorer. That's for damn sure. I don't know what's going on.
TP, I got big ears. I don't like short hair.
Did you get a haircut or is it just wet?
Wet. It's just drying. Oh. And I just have it brushed back. I mean, I did get a haircut like 2 weeks ago.
Mm.
I don't know. You knew that.
I don't see the curls. I didn't.
Yeah, I got a haircut 2 weeks ago. But yeah, it's not like as long. Now let's move over to the New Orleans Pelicans. And the Pelicans is a team that I think Zion, CJ McCollum, Brandon Ingram have been kind of in and out of the lineup, but they're still getting it done. And for me, I think they've solidified themselves as actual contenders. Granted, I think they are the Phoenix Suns 2.0, but different. Like Brandon Ingram's the best player and the leader of this team. And because Willie Green comes from Monty Williams, I call him the Suns 2.0. They move the ball and stuff. Similar, obviously, completely different play styles and all that, but the identity of the team, the culture is very similar.
Yeah. I think, they haven't been healthy really as a cohesive unit too much, like you were saying. I've been seeing way too much Pelicans fans upset with why did we trade for CJ McCollum? I keep looking at these. I'm like, what are you guys talking about? I don't know if you have an opinion on that. I know CJ isn't having the most efficient of seasons. Right,
it's just injuries. I'm fine with CJ. He's the point guard they've needed.
I don't know what all the like. Who would you rather? Last year they desperately needed CJ McCollum. So
yeah.
I like it. Yeah, Herb Jones a little in and out, like just a bunch of guys in and out. But then you got guys like Trey Murphy and Larry Nance, Jose.
Jonas Valanciunas. Yeah, Jose got 38th, but Jonas Valanciunas, top 10 center, probably the most underrated center. We gave Jonas some love earlier in the season. And I've said this, I think they're a top 10 team. And arguably, I think if they're not on the brink of contention, they're in contention as a top 5 team because this is a team that has the 6th best offense in the NBA last I checked, with Zion Williamson missing a handful of games, Brandon Ingram missing 8 games, CJ McCollum missing 4 games. They're just dominating teams on the offensive end. And Williamson, who's been very good offensively, isn't outright dominating like we thought he would. He's still been good. He's still good. It's just like I said, I made a video saying Brandon Ingram was the best player on the New Orleans Pelicans, and every single person who commented said that's a fact. The fans know he's the best player. Everyone knows he's the leader. Nothing against Zion. Zion's out there averaging 23.6, 59%. But everyone within the organization, the fan base, this is Brandon Ingram's team. Brandon is that guy. And it's nothing against Zion. Zion's cool with being, it looks like, the second. And Zion has the potential probably to be better, and his defense is improved. Like on the defensive end, they're third in the NBA in defense. And we've talked about this before. To be a championship team, you need to be top 15 in either offense or defense, and then the other one has to be top 10. Right now, they're top 10 in both. That's the recipe, ingredients needed in the recipe for a championship team. And Herb Jones has also missed 6 games, but they force turnovers. They don't get killed at the three-point line. They have a nonstop motor, and they rebound the ball at a high level. And Willie Hernan-Gomez, Larry Nance, Trey Murphy, Dyson Daniels, Jose Alvarado, Najee Marshall are all examples of the depth that this team has. And Willie Green is my coach of the year candidate right now.
Yeah, I think that's very fair. I think he would be mine too. Double D's been doing a phenomenal job right out of the get-go too. I was so big on Dyson in the draft, but
we both
yeah, their culture, it's just so fun, man. They were chanting Jose. I don't know. They were just having a lot of fun, and you could tell they like each other, and it's cool to see. I think Brandon Ingram will be the best player. I don't think he has been this year, but it's just been like a nice kind of team effort. And it's not it's like all I know CJ's stats have taken a little bit of a dip, but like, Brandon and Zion and CJ, all 3 of them together, like even on their off nights, they have so much help. They're just good together. It's a very fun team. I know Swaggy was saying they're a contender for sure. They're definitely top 4 in the off season. So
yeah, I think it'll be cool. And this team is built for the playoffs. As I think, as long as they still healthy, they still have Kyrie Lewis Jr. That's the other thing, is this is a team that's also built for the trade market and the buyout market, a team that intends, because they have Devontae Graham's contract. That's a guy who's been kind of played out. They have Devontae Graham and Kyrie Lewis Jr., a guy who Kyra, I believe he's going into his 3rd season now. And they have Devontae, who's can kind of push out the lineup. There's also the thought that you'd like to keep Devontae around if CJ were to get hurt, then you can run Devontae and Jose. But then there's the thought, well, you have Dyson Daniels, and you can run instead Dyson and Jose if CJ were to get hurt, as Dyson's a 6'8" point guard. And having Devontae Graham and Kyrie Lewis Jr., you have a former first-round pick right there in Kyrie Lewis Jr., and you have I believe it's like an $11 million salary in Devontae Graham combined with the salary of Kyrie Lewis Jr., which I believe gets you up to almost like $14 million. Kyrie's making $4 million and Devontae's making 11.5. So right there, that gets you $14.5 million. And when you're looking at guys who are making $14.5 million, and I'm not saying that they need to make a trade, but they're out here and they're able to look at guys like, if they needed shooting, Doug McDermott, Luke Kennard, obviously Jordan Clarkson's off the market, but Gary Harris. Okay. If they were interested in getting a guy, I think Chris Boucher is off the market, but Kelly Olynyk, another, if they felt like they needed more power forward depth, or a Robert Covington, a Josh Richardson, a Terrence Ross, a Dylan Brooks, are all guys that are on the market right there in that price range where they're actually able to afford those players. And even other guys like Malik Beasley, they could probably get themselves. And Derrick Rose is another, if they wanted to go for another, a better 6-man-esque point guard. But I think Jose Alvarado's there, if they were going to get anybody, be more wing depth. Do you agree? Like that is a move that they could look at, like a Terrence Ross, Dylan Brooks, Josh Richardson, Robert Covington, Kelly Olynyk, Gary Harris, Luke Kennard, Doug McDermott. I think more defense would be their thing, though. Not Doug McDermott, Luke Kennard, but the other guys.
Yeah.
Teams, they're positioned well to make a championship move. Like if Norman Powell, they're flexible. Like Norman Powell, $16 million. They could finesse a deal where they could bring Norman Powell in if the Clippers were trying to move on.
No.
Now let's talk. Yeah, it's a good place to be if you're in New Orleans. Let's just hope. I've never liked the Pelicans' like logo or colors or jerseys for the most part. I love the colors of the New Orleans Hornets, and I've always said this. if the Utah Jazz can do a rebrand and change their name, and then New Orleans can reclaim the name New Orleans Jazz and then bring back the New Orleans Hornets colors, but in New Orleans Jazz like branding, that'd be sick. Like Chris Paul, Anthony Davis rookie year like look.
Yeah, definitely.
Now let's talk about a team that you would say is your second favorite team in the NBA behind. I guess you're a very weird Chicago Bulls fan for someone whose favorite team is the Chicago Bulls. You come off more as if you're a fan of this team, and this team is the Houston Rockets. And the Houston Rockets over here. Also, can we give out not just Alperen Şengün love, but can we give love to our man Usman Garuba? Because Usman Garuba is low-key figuring it out defensively, at least for the season. But these young guys, I can change the picture if you wanted to, but I think this one's. Should I change this?
Getting shafted every week. He's getting like 3 minutes in garbage time. It's such bullshit. But
who? Josh?
Josh, yeah. It's such bullshit. I'm a little worried about Usman now that.
Also, before you continue, there's a lot of Rockets fans who like are defending the hell out of Silas. Like, I have nothing against Silas. I just like to reiterate the point that Silas was brought here to coach a championship level team, not a rebuilding team. So maybe go out, try to get a coach like a Kenny Atkinson, a player development coach. I'm just that's all I want to say for Rockets fans. What do you think of this team and what they've been able to do over the last few weeks?
I think they need to definitely get a new coach. Man, I'm so anti-Silas now, and I was pretty pro. Let's see what he can do for us.
You were a pro Steven Silas guy for like the longest time. I was always hesitant on Silas. I gave him the benefit of the doubt, and I don't think he's a bad coach. I just don't think this is the situation for him.
I don't think he's a head coach in the NBA. I think that I just don't see. Like, thank God Jalen's kind of taking a jump because I've not seen too much player progression as far as like what the coach is implementing. I don't think, and I've been so critical of him, and I won't even get into it because I don't want to kill the mood here because they just took down Philly and Harden's return, and Harden had a couple of times where he could have sank the game winner. I was very happy to see yesterday. I don't think my issues with like Silas are like Josh Christopher. I don't even think he played yesterday. Yeah, he didn't play yesterday. Usman Garuba played 6 minutes. Like Daisha Nick somehow is still on our roster. Ty Washington Jr. just got called up. He's not playing. I don't know what he's like trying to accomplish. I don't think there's any ball movement most of the time, but we're starting to see it. Jalen Green did not make a 3 last night. He went 0-7, got to the free throw line 10 times. He had 7 assists. Kevin Porter Jr. was getting buckets when he had to. Jabari Smith Jr. started ice cold, and he had some huge shots in fourth quarter and both overtimes. Şengün was a little bit more of a quiet night. He fouled out, but guys like Tari Eason, KJ Martin Jr., these guys are like huge for the future development of Houston because these are the players. Same thing with Jay Sean when he gets back. These are the players that are like actually doing things on offense other than just standing around. Like they're actually going to do cuts. They're going to do backdoor cuts. They're going to set off ball screens. They're going to do a little bit of everything. Tari was just in the right place at the right time so much yesterday. Same thing with KJ. So I love the pieces they have, and I agree with you fully. I don't think Steven Silas is the guy to develop these players, and I think it's abundantly clear a quarter of the way through the season this year. I think it was pretty clear last year, but like you're saying, I wanted to give him the benefit of the doubt one more time, and I'd love a more offensive – or it doesn't even have to be an offensive-minded coach because that's what Silas is. Player development coach.
Kenny Atkinson would be perfect for this team.
Yeah, I love Kenny Atkinson.
So I just wanted to pull up thing. First off, Usman Garuba and Tari Eason are the defensive lifeblood for this team, as both of them are both averaging like a block and a steal a game, right around there. Tari for the season, he's shooting well from 3, but over the last week or so, the last 10 games, he's been struggling from 3. But for the season, you see the confidence there. Alperen Şengün, he's been awesome, but his minutes fluctuate. And at this point, I don't get why we just don't start Şengün and Jabari together. And on defense, you have Jabari play center, and on offense, you have Alperen Şengün play center, and on, and vice, you know what I mean? You flip them on offense, you take advantage of Şengün as the as the center, but on defense, you put Jabari as the center because Jabari is the better rim protector, and you have Şengün, who's shown enough athleticism to keep up with most power forwards, and that way Şengün can on offense play the center position. Jabari, who's over the last 10 games has been shooting 40% from three and looking like the 3-point shooter, and just that we knew he could be. And then you also Kenyon Martin has been so interesting because he demanded a trade, but they're giving him minutes, and he's been solid for the season. He's just a good role player, a guy that you want. He was somebody that I would have liked seeing a championship team with championship aspirations trade for. And KPJ is oddly been one of their most consistent players all year. Just a guy who comes out, gives you 19 points a night, dishes like 6 assists, grabs like 6 rebounds, just does his thing. And I think Kevin Porter Jr. has been quietly like solidifying himself at least on this roster long term this season. But besides that, I think it's just weird with the end of this roster. Like Eric Gordon's there. I just don't understand why you give minutes to Eric Gordon. Like you keep giving him minutes. Like I think at this point,
kills the offense.
Yeah, I think at this point, let's try to find a trade for Eric. And I understand you want to keep vets on this roster, but like you can always sign another vet, like bring back Waba or something. But I don't see the purpose of why you're giving Dacian Nix minutes. Send him to the G League again. Garrison Matthews, you kept him on a long-term deal. I understand playing him, but he's more of a rotational guy. I think you need to be giving Josh Christopher and Ty Washington more minutes. Ty is a guy who I was very high out coming out of Kentucky. So I don't know. That's why I just think it's real. Someone with structure. That's literally Jalen. You're right here. You're so right. It's literally what pisses me off is I don't understand what Stephen Silas is doing. His rotations do not make sense. The way you get what I'm saying? Like it feels like it's a different, besides the 4 or 5 guys who consistently play in Jalen and Kevin Porter Jr., Alperen Şengün, Jabari Smith, and Eric Gordon, I just don't even understand. And Kenyon Martin and Tari Eason, it just feels like it's just a different look every night. I just don't know what to expect. Yeah,
it is. That's why. Yeah, exactly. I mean, Usman Garuba should be playing more than 5 a night. Dacian Nix shouldn't be playing. Ty should be.
There's just not an identity. I don't know if this team's trying to
identity, and they're not trending in the right direction to find an identity. That's my issue.
But it's the worst part is I see these guys growing. I see Jalen Green growing as a player. I see Kevin Porter Jr. maturing, being more consistent.
As players,
as players. Alperen Şengün developing. You see guys who can play defense on this team, but you have. I don't know if it's the coach. Because Ralph Stone's just the guy who gives the coaching staff, the players to work with. And this is where I get confused that I look at this game. Are they trying to be this super offensively driven team that they're going to kill you with their youth and their athleticism and in transition? But I don't see that. Or are they going to shoot a hell of threes? Or are they going to be a defensive team because they have these super long guys in Jabari Smith, Tari Eason, Usman Garuba who can do stuff?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's for a team that's so young and for a team that pushed the pace so hard in the second half of last year, like they're, to my knowledge, dead last in pace. I mean, it's just you hear the announcers say it all the time. Like the announcers are literally saying, go, 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 go. How are you dead last in pace with the youngest team in the NBA? I don't get it. So, yeah.
I don't get it. And it's like, that's why I think you need to get a guy from the Golden State Warriors or the San Antonio Spurs what I'm saying is like a coach from the Spurs, the Celtics, the Warriors. Let's get a coach who's been in one of those organizations that understand winning, understanding player development, and let's build an identity with this team. Let's go. I want you guys to go out and play the hardest defense, or I want you guys to go out there and shoot as many threes as you can get off. I'm fine with either. Just let me give the fan base an identity what this team's supposed to be. Because right now it just looks like Stephen Silas just plays the best players and just tells them to play schoolyard basketball.
Yeah. They're not taking good shots. They're dead last in field goal percent. They are second to last in assists. They're not pushing the ball at all. And when they do well, yesterday's game wasn't even that pretty. I think when you go into double overtime against a struggling or a injured Philadelphia team, I think you should have more than 120 points. But when the spurts came, more specifically in the second half, when the ball is moving around, like that's when you see the highest success. So yeah, it's frustrating. I haven't been making Daily Rockets content because it's just I have a lot of nitpicks on them, and I don't want to be negative. But I'm glad they're winning. They're starting to learn how to close out these games.
Yes. So literally, Silas wants to run pick and roll offense like you do. And the thing is look, you should tell these guys, and he's like letting these guys shoot whatever shots they want. So you should be telling these guys, hey, on offense, you either take a 3-point shot or you take a shot inside the paint. No mid range. Don't take a mid range. And just work on taking high efficient shots. But like you said, you're running a pick and roll ISO. But the thing is like half the pick and rolls, it's not even like you're doing a lob threat because they don't necessarily have a lob threat. Jabari Smith could be a lob threat because he has the size and the athleticism. Even Alperen Şengün could be a guy who could be utilizing a pick and roll, maybe not as a lob threat, but a guy you throw it ahead and he just finishes the play. But when they do a pick and roll, it's like, oh, pick and roll and ISO, not instead pick and roll and so much pass ISO. It ahead to the guy or kick it out to somebody by using the switch to your advantage. It's pick and roll and just try to score the ball, either attacking the rim and drawing a foul or just a mid-range or a step back jumper. And that's not how you play basketball.
That's what it is a lot of the time. KPJ calls a pick to Şengün, gets a mismatch, dribbles the ball for 15 straight seconds, and then they start to pass it or get it down to Şengün or whatever. But he's getting there. Like I saw some good passes last night in the pick and roll, but
you should literally be running
specifically in the pick and roll haven't been great.
And like, look, no, I get what you're saying, AI Productions. What I think they should be doing is KPJ or Jalen Green runs the ball up. You have Alperen Şengün set a pick, but he rolls to the elbow. You pass it to Şengün at the elbow. Şengün backs up. You have Jalen Green, Jabari Smith, and the other wings do some motion offense and set picks for each other while Şengün is in the elbow, and then he either decides to kick it out or drive into the paint. Because when you kick it out and you have all this motion offense, it sets up 3-point shooters, and that way you can go. And I just think it's just you have a guy in Alperen Şengün who could be the store brand version of Nikola Jokic. And I don't mean that in any offensive way at all. I mean that as a very high compliment. I can never compare someone to be the Nikola Jokic 2.0. But if there's anybody who's in the league that's a few years younger, who's on their rookie deal, Alperen Şengün is the closest thing that we have to a younger version of Jokic, and they're just not utilizing it correctly. I think he's a combination of a UCLA Kevin Love and a store brand Nikola Jokic. But let's move on and let's talk about a guy who's been just capturing the hearts of everyone, and he's a good stand-up comedian. He's actually one of the few athletes that have genuinely laughed. First off, you got to watch his roast of Alec Baldwin. After this, watch the roast of Alec Baldwin, and he's like the lead dude. He makes like a trans joke. He makes like a joke about like Caitlyn Jenner's daughters being like thanking Caitlyn Jenner for his daughters or for her daughters.
Yeah, he's a funny guy.
Like he's like and I saw a couple of his other stand-ups. Like genuinely, this man is actually a funny guy. Like he's talented. People forget that Blake Griffin was the face of the league. Like people forget how famous Blake Griffin. Like if you were watching from college basketball when he was on the cover, I think it was 2009 or 2010, the last NCAA game, to probably like 2016 when he got shipped to Detroit. Blake Griffin was everywhere. There was commercials. He had Adult Swim ads where he was doing stuff. Like Blake Griffin's a funny, charismatic guy, and he seems like he's well-liked wherever. There's never bad words about Blake Griffin's work ethic, Blake Griffin as a person or his character. You saw just for 2 seasons as a role player, he got a tribute video from Brooklyn. It just shows how much people appreciate him, how much of an impact he has on an organization. It's people as just a person on an emotional human level, not just as a player. And he was a guy that everyone predicted that once his athleticism was taken from him a bit, and he's still more athletic than the average person on this planet, still can dunk the shit out of a basketball, but he's been regressed to a rotational role player, a spot starter to say, as he started four games so far for these Boston Celtics. And over the last 2 games, to be exact, he's shooting 81.8% from the field, 33% from 3, 6 rebounds tonight, 11 points. Okay. And half of those rebounds are actually offensive rebounds and assists a night. He's just playing glue basketball that doesn't show up on the stat sheet and just dunking over people, a good director of good morale for this team. Thoughts?
I agree. That's it. I don't think I could add anything else.
You can't add anything else to the great Blake Griffin, who's playing phenomenal. I really think, like, you look at this is a team right now in the Boston Celtics that if it wasn't for the guys who are stepping up with the injuries, Al Horford being day to day, Blake Griffin's right now playing small ball 5, okay, like literally starting games for them, grabbing rebounds. And we know Robert Williams III is going to be back soon. Malcolm Brogdon's day to day as well. But this is a team that with Al Horford day to day, they're running Blake Griffin, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Derek White, and Marcus Smart, then bring Peyton Pritchard, Sam Hauser, Grant Williams, and Luke Cornett off the bench. And it's crazy to think that Blake Griffin making an impact on this team after last year. One might say that it wasn't the prettiest for Blake at times in his last year in Brooklyn. But so far in the month of December, I think Blake, he's played one game in December, but I think in November we started to see the tide churn a little bit for Blake. He played in 4 games and he started 3 of those. We started to see a guy who comes out, gives you a few points, gives you a few rebounds, and he just plays hard, and he's became a glue guy, a guy who is the lifeblood of the team, who keeps the energy going. And he hits his free throws when he goes to the line. He goes at least once or twice a game, which is, I think, good. And I think the numbers won't tell you shit, but Blake's shooting 57% on the field for the season, 36 from 3 on like one or 2 attempts a game. I've always been a big Blake Griffin fan.
Is that me? Uh-oh. Let's see. Oh, it's not me? No, it's not. Right? Oh, it's not me. Yeah. Oh, he said electricity went out. 1 sec. Yeah, it's crazy. Because I was I was in Chicago yesterday, and I had my on the big screen. My Wi-Fi went out like it does every stream in Chicago, and it always just pissed me off because I always just know what's gonna happen. But all summer, for some reason, it worked. And just when summer ended, it was no. So yeah, I agree with Blake Griffin end clip. All right, let's see what we got down here. Donovan Mitchell happy as hell to be with the Cavaliers. D'Angelo Russell fined 20 grand for inappropriate language towards a game official. Oh, fuck him. Jordan Clarkson fined 15 grand for throwing headband into stands. Damn, dude, this league. Kyrie Irving and Nike part ways. Oh, I'm excited for Depot getting closer to a return. Talked about that a little bit yesterday. Every time I hear day-to-day, I think of day-to-Davis.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I'm back. Hopefully my shit's working. I think you hear me?
Yeah.
Am I laggy at all? I'm not in the middle of
No.
I'm waiting for my Wi-Fi to come back up because it hasn't came up.
How are you live and have no Wi-Fi?
I have a hotspot, dude, on my phone. What? Learn technology. Yeah, bro. I'm quick. Yeah, bro. What was the last thing you heard? Let me finish my Blake Griffin love. Okay, this is the last because you'll edit this into one cohesive clip. Lost internet, came back. Blake Griffin, okay, is going to be a guy, if this team gets a ring, one of the most deserving players to get a ring besides Al Horford, but he's going to be a big part of this rotation. All right, that's it. Yeah. Are you amazed that I used a hotspot and I did that quick? My computer restarted.
Yeah.
1 second. I think my Wi-Fi is back. Let me reconnect. So we're going to talk about a Kyle Kuzma trade. Atlanta Hawks and the Phoenix Suns are interested. Atlanta Hawks are the Wizards are interested in a Kyle Kuzma for John Collins. But if they did a Kyle Kuzma, John Collins trade, it would have to be Kyle Kuzma and Rui Hachimura I believe would have to be Kyle Kuzma and Will Barton, and then they would have to trade back like Aaron Holiday and John Collins and like a pick. Then the Phoenix Suns could offer Jay Crowder and Dario Saric, or Jay Crowder and Damian Lee, which is a better deal. Jay Crowder and Damian Lee, and probably a pick or two for Kyle Kuzma. Let me hear your thoughts while I connect to the new internet.
Who the fuck do they think they are? Yeah, all right, Phoenix, all set. Next, Atlanta, also all set. I don't know who the hell you think you are either. Let me pull up Kyle Kuzma's stats. I think, unfortunately, we're probably at the ceiling of Kuz, 27 years old. But I don't think that's a bad thing because he's putting up 21, 8, and 4 rounded up. Damn, he's shooting 30.5% from downtown. But yeah, he's averaging a career high in points right now at 20.6. 7.7 rebounds, 3.6 assists. Yeah, I think I'm all set with either of those trades. I'm not quite sure what John Collins offers me. And I also have to give you Will Barton. Like, all right, all set. And then Jay Crowder and whoever the hell the other rando was is just like disrespectful to me. I'm like fuck off is what I'm actually saying. But
so no, I'm over here. Okay, the reason why they're speculating that Kyle Kuzma could leave is obviously, as a Washington Wizards fan myself, I do not want, like, obviously John Collins would be cool if you're telling me Kyle Kuzma has made it clear to the front office that he's not going to resign, because Kyle Kuzma is expected to get a 4 to 5 year deal with an annual average of $20 to $25 million. So he's going to get himself a $80 to $100 million deal, 4-year deal, or a $100 to $125 million 5-year deal, depending. So if he's made it clear to the front office that no, he's not staying and he's going to take the bag somewhere else, then I understand if you try to get the Hawks to send you John Collins and 1 or 2 first-round picks or one first-round unprotected pick, and multiple second-round picks for Kyle Kuzma and Will Barton. That way you can get some assets back for the trade that you made this offseason and for Kyle Kuzma, who could leave, and you have John Collins extended for the similar amount of money that it would cost to retain Kyle Kuzma. And John Collins, arguably, similar tier of player right there. So that's a good trade-off. While Jay Crowder, the similar thing would be done if the Hawks deal, if you can't get the picks or whatever value is deemed necessary, you move over to the Suns, which would be, in my opinion, option B if Kyle Kuzma has made it clear that he does want to leave Washington, and no matter what they offer him. You could go up to Phoenix and be like, give me 2 first-round picks, Damian Lee and Jay Crowder, or you could offer Jay Crowder and, if you want a shooter, and Landry Shamet, you could offer yourself Rui Hachimura and Kyle Kuzma for Landry Shamet and Jay Crowder, and 2 first-round picks, or I think 2 first-round picks for Kuzma, but 1 to 2 first-round picks, and Jay Crowder and Landry Shamet, or Jay Crowder and Dario Saric, or with 1 to 2 picks, Kuzma straight up, Crowder and Damian Lee fit under the salary. I don't know which of those deals you like. I think first I would go with the Atlanta deal if your arms are tied and you had to trade Kuzma. I think option A is do not trade Kuzma, re-sign him to whatever he wants. B is send him to the Hawks. Let's get John Collins for a similar tiered player who's averaged 20 and 10 before and shot the 3 ball at a high percentage before and can play defense. And the final option would be obviously the Phoenix Suns. Thoughts?
I get it if he doesn't want to come back. I still don't really like either trade because I think Collins kind of handicaps him even more. But then again, what free agent is going to go to Washington? 2 first-round picks is like enticing, but Bradley Beal's 29 years old, so they got to win, and they got to win now. So the 2 – and they swing and miss on Johnny Davis. I don't think Washington knows how to draft that well anymore. So, yeah.
Johnny Davis hurts, and I thought about what of these deals being one for Johnny Davis, but I don't know. It's interesting. I just want to do that for the clip. Will the Washington Wizards trade Kyle Kuzma? We will see.
It's interesting with the money.
I
don't know if he'll come back. I don't know if he's going to go back.
Yeah, I think it all comes down. The only reason these trade rumors are coming is maybe he's came up to the front office and he, in good faith, he's like, hey, I just want to come up to you guys now. Unless we win an NBA championship, I don't see myself coming back. So I'd like to let you guys know now in December so you guys can make plans to move on from me by the trade deadline too. And that way maybe his agent can negotiate with the team that they do trade. Hey, if you trade for me, we'll have a verbal agreement that I resign in free agency.
Yeah. Kuz, go to Chicago. Could use
so it's time for a game that we have to play because I got to get out of here. I got to go to a film set for a student film. But here we are. It's that time. It's beautiful. It is Hurdle. Oh, baby. Here we go. Waiting for that drop. Way back music.
Yeah. Ah.
Okay, here we are.
That is
DeMar?
Yeah. It's tomorrow. All right. Oh, damn, my guess was not gonna work then. I'll go. Wait, what was the position?
He's 6'6", guard forward. Literally the same as DeMar.
6'6". I was gonna guess JaVale.
Troy Brown Jr.? Or did Troy
that long?
Did Troy get rid of his dreads? Or the
I don't think his hair's
cornrows?
that long.
He got rid of the cornrows either way.
Oh, dude, that looks like Moses Brown too. Fuck.
Oh my God.
Oh, is it Jeremy Grant?
I tried
don't
Jeremy
think so.
Grant. I don't think it's Jeremy Grant, but I think I know who it is. Oh, dude, wasn't that a good guess? That was a good guess. Guard forward with the dreads. Oh, dude, I'm so stupid. I always forget Oklahoma City's in the Northwest as well.
Oh, do we know the division?
We don't know the division, but we know it's either Pacific, Southwest, or Pacific, Southwest, and
dude, how's it not O'Shea Brissett? Can't be TJ Warren, right? He's in the West.
Yeah, and he's not in the Thunder, so
that looks like TJ Warren. Is that Phoenix Sun TJ Warren?
Would it be Wendell Moore?
I don't know.
Oh my God, another Northwest team.
Oh, Brandon Ingram.
Oh my God, you're right. All right. At least we know it's Southwest. So Tari Eason?
He's 25. Could it actually be a Rocket?
I don't think it's a Rocket.
I don't think it's a Rocket either. Bruno.
The Mavericks?
He looks like a Mav. I really thought it was JaVale.
It's not Spencer Dinwiddie.
No.
It's not Josh Green.
It's not Bullock. It's too slim.
The Spurs? Is it Josh Richardson? Okay, so it's not the Spurs.
Oh, he's old.
Oh, yeah. All right, so did we get
Rockets?
the 8? So it's not the Rockets. It's a Rockets or Mavericks. Rockets, Mavericks.
And one more Dubs, is it? No.
Rockets, Mavericks, or what's the third team? Rockets, Mavericks, Houston.
I thought it was the Dubs.
No, Rockets, Mavericks, Pelicans, Spurs.
Have you guys ever lost? I think we have. I can't remember.
What's the third team? Rockets, Pelicans, Mavericks, Spurs. What's the other team in the Southwest?
All three Texas teams are in the same division.
Yeah. I'm trying to think.
Come on, number this guy. 6'6".
What's the other team?
Dude, that's not Kevin Porter Jr., right?
No.
He's older than 25.
He's 6'4".
Weird did the Thunder.
All right, what is what? No, it's not the Thunder. It's Rockets, Spurs, Pelicans, Mavs. Rockets, Spurs, Pelicans, Mavs.
It's not the Sun. Oh, Nuggets?
I feel like they're the Northwest.
Is that Aaron Gordon? No, he's not 6'6".
No. I don't. Rockets, Spurs. Wow,
Jeez.
what the fuck?
Do I go get it?
I don't know. Is your roommate home? Is Memphis Southwest? All right. Should I guess Dylan Brooks? I'm guessing Dylan Brooks. I got Dylan Brooks. Dylan Brooks. That's why it was Memphis. Dylan Brooks. I don't know what's going on over there, but TP, I didn't even realize Memphis. All right. That's a wow. I didn't even get that. So, with Jackson being gone, we're going to wrap this show up, I think. And yeah, I hope you guys do have a great day. I got to go to a movie set and for a student film. That's going to be fun. But I hope you guys do have a great day. That's basically it from us today. So, yeah, I hope you guys do have a good one. Like, comment, subscribe, do all that good stuff. I'm going to peace out. Till next time, guys. Bye-bye, everybody.